All right, we good? We good? Can I be heard? Can I be heard? All right. Wait, why do I have two feeds? Something else is playing somewhere. There we go. That's weird. I'm not sure why that's taking place. Let me check. Yeah, can you guys hear me? Can you hear me good? Can you hear me good? Can you hear me well? All right. Man, it's been boring. What's up, Hustle and Motivate? How you been? I haven't heard from you in a little bit, man. How you doing? I'm gonna be here for sure a while. I got something to do at 3 o'clock, so I'm not gonna no um be doing too much. Talk about a couple things. I recently beat Long Fallen Dynasty. I think that was on March 12th, I think. I had an experience with that game. Some pros, some cons. I had a lot of like uh bugs. I don't know if it was bugs or just situation that impact like the gameplay when I was playing on Xbox. There's been times I had to fight, a boss a couple of times even after beating them because of freezes, crashes, or just bugs where the cutscene just wouldn't play. I had like constant and some of like my hardest fights, constant controller desyncing where the controller, even though will be powered on batteries like at max capacity, the controller would just the Xbox would recognize the controller as like being like turned off, and that happened like I think in some of the streams I had too. It would pop up and be like, please connect controller or sign in or something, like it was something stupid, and it would happen literally like at times right where I need to like parry or block, and it would just keep occurring. It happened in the Lubu fight multiple times. It happened in the last boss fight, and I think it happened to me. Oh man, where else did it happen? It happened to me a couple times, and that was like troublesome. And then I had a couple bosses where, like the last boss, I did that, beat it, and then I wanted to show off that I beat it. Took a screenshot of the credits, shared it on Xbox. By doing the share to Twitter feature, it crashed the game. So I went back to the game just to make sure autosave worked. And no, I had to start right before the boss fight again and fight him again. Took me but the second time I did it, it took me maybe 2-3 tries. But those type of experiences you do not want when playing like a Souls like game. It's like those are the last issues. You don't want like frame rate issues. You don't want game breaking bugs. You don't want like controller desyncs or crashes, anything that's going to require you to replay the game or that fight again. And I've had that like multiple times during my experience through Wolong. And the thing is, I don't know if that's a game situation, an Xbox situation, like a couple of issues related to my experience were, I can say, directly related to the Xbox. Like they're having a crappy game sharing feature, them having these controller desync issues. But the thing is, I would play other games like during that same period with the same controller and not have that happen. That thing only happened when I played Wolong. So I don't know. But that was very, very frustrating. If I had to take those without those issues, I think the game is very, very, very good. It's not the hardest game that I played in terms of like Souls, like definitely not the hardest. It does have there's a handful of bosses that challenge me in ways that other Souls games challenge me, but I think the balance of the boss, like most of the bosses were like, okay, whatever, take one or two tries once you kind of know what they're doing. But I feel like the two Lubu fights, the dude with the electric sword, and the boss before the last boss, I don't think he was challenging to that degree. It took me it didn't take me. It took me one session to beat him, meaning like I think two or three, no, three attempts maybe. The first time I was very close. Second time it was like I think I just effed up on something, and the third time I just was able to do it. The final boss was tough, but I did it within. I still think I did it within the same day of me fighting him for the first time. It just spent like multiple runs, and then the problem was it took me multiple efforts, and I had to beat him twice. The first boss, if I go back to it now, it's probably not hard, but because you're just getting your bearings on the game, and they kind of throw in this like tough boss at you. At that phase, it's very difficult, but overall, the game is nowhere near among the hardest games that I played. I think Sekiro is definitely up there. Bloodborne, Elden Ring, I had problems, but Elden Ring, like I said, it allowed like obviously like co-op. But I think if I had to give like I think it would be it would be Sekiro, probably the hardest of the games that I played in those genres. I think it's still Sekiro. Wolong, like I said, they have like you get what 20, maybe 21, 22 bosses, and I think there's a good 5 or 6 of them that literally will cause breaking points for people. I think there are like about 5 bosses in Wolong that will pretty much determine if somebody's going to continue through the game or not. And not all 22 of them are hard. And you know what I mean? If you get past Lubu 1, maybe Lubu 2 is going to make you quit. Maybe if you get past Lubu 1, maybe the electric boss makes you quit. I don't know, but Wolong is like I said, it's a good game. Nowhere among the hardest games I play. It does, like I said, has its fair share of difficult bosses. But when you take that in the grand scheme of the game and how many bosses you do encounter, only 20% of them are going to be responsible for the game's entire difficulty, which isn't like too bad. I think the game has awesome mechanics that do work. It did enough, I think, to put itself away from, I guess, games like Neo and Sekiro. The different morale systems that they have in place, the with the whole like every time you beat a level, you pretty much start at nothing and you have to work your way up, grind your way up. So that you can take on regular foes in each level and then be strong enough to tackle on a boss. But the game did give you like some sort of freedom where you can literally go into the boss fight with probably in most cases like 1 or no flags. But not recommended that you play the game that way. The thing I didn't like about the game, I didn't like the game's gear system. They just give you a whole bunch of gear for nothing. I think I wore overall maybe 3 outfits. I think the game had a good multiplayer, but I was still confused about its multiplayer because I have not successfully I don't think you can play. I haven't experienced it. The only 2 co-op sessions I had is when early in the game Addict, and I took on, I think, that first ape type creature you fight, and he helped me with that one. After we were done, I let him go, and once it loaded me back into my game, even though I invited him, I had to go through that all over again. So it's like, whatever, right? So I pretty much used the co-op for that boss to determine, all right, I know how to beat him now. Let me see if I can do it by myself. Had to do it by myself to advance. And that's how we've done that. And I've helped like people like Ham Solo. We've ran through a couple parts of the game, like, because I was at so far in the game that there was no one available to really help me beat through any bosses because I was too far ahead. So if you're on like you're on like chapter like 5 and somebody's on like chapter 3 or chapter 4, they can't help you. You can only request help from people that's available, that made it to that level. I do like the invasion system. I've invaded people. People have invaded me. I think I'm missing one more invasion, 1 or 2 more invasions. So if anybody has Wolong, if you want to do me a favor, invade my game, let me kill you, and let me get my achievement. I think I'm missing that achievement. I'm not going to go for 100% completion. I don't need it, but that I'm so close to that achievement. More than enough people invaded my game. I've only taken L to one of them, but everybody else I was able to manhandle fairly easily. So Motivate asks about the performance of the game. The performance to me was fine. I didn't have like issues where I played in performance mode. I didn't think the issues that I had was related to performance. It was more related to like technical stupidity. Like I had a boss fight that it was one of the earlier boss fights that I was struggling on. I beat him, and they do their little bow or whatever when they lose, and you're waiting for the cutscene to come on. Nothing happens. I'm just sitting there working and running in circles. Or like, do I have to activate something? Like, come on, when are they gonna give me the cutscene? And it never occurred. And then unfortunately I had to close out the game, reboot it. Hopefully it would have registered that I beat him, but no, I had to fight him again. The second time happened, I was in Weapon Wheel last week. I forgot what boss this was on. I beat a boss. I think it was that big tiger boss. And like I beat him, the screen went black, and you hear the dialogue, and I'm thinking this is a part of the game, but the dialogue was chopped and screwed, and that's when I knew it was a problem, and it lasted for about like 5 minutes. I was like, all right, we're not going anywhere. Had to close out the game, do it again, fight him again. Like stuff like that was extremely annoying. I don't know if this game received a patch ever since it released, but like those are the type of the things that I experienced it. Level 1 Gaming, what's up? Shout out to you. I will be putting out a video for the game Wanted Dead. I've been playing that now that I've beaten Wolong. Give my thoughts. I'm trying to see if it's current review scores are warranted. But I should have probably that game done sometime later this week. I still haven't beaten Hogwarts Legacy. Wolong literally sort of interrupted my run. I'm going to pick that game back up probably today. I watched all my good shows, Power Book 2, watched that last night, so I'm pretty much free. Watched the last episode of BMF, so I'm pretty much free. So I can pretty much try to like either continue my run on Hogwarts or try to burn through Wanted Dead. But yeah, we got the situation with, obviously Activision Blizzard. I do want to talk about, I think PlayStation, based off what Xbox has submitted to the European Union for their remedies to get their deal through. They address all the cloud concerns. They got multiple partnerships out. Obviously, we know about the partnership with Nintendo, Nvidia. There's this other streaming service. I think one's based out of Ukraine and the other one is based out of, I think another place, I think based out of Texas. They signed like 3 or 4 more agreements that address the cloud concern, which is cool, whatever. I feel like they're in a situation where I guess the latest report pretty much did not address PlayStation concerns. And the reports, what we heard, what Jim Ryan said, we don't want a deal, we want to block your merger. They've, PlayStation not, being communicative, obviously not signing off on a deal. So Microsoft has to act they have to act with all right, we're gonna get this done without PlayStation's input. If they sign a deal, great. If not, there's other manufacturers, other video game producers and publishers, platform holders that we can ink a deal with. And my thing is, if they can get this through with everybody signing on but PlayStation, does PlayStation cost them access to Call of Duty? Because you got to think about it. Everybody else signed a 10-year agreement, a commitment, right? Like, hey, we are going to produce. PlayStation doesn't want an agreement or a commitment. They want to stop the deal. If they don't sign a deal, and Xbox is, they get the acquisition through, PlayStation doesn't sign a deal. This is the last year of marketing deal. I think this year or next year, whatever. If there's no deal, there's no deal. Do PlayStation lose access to Call of Duty at that point because they did not sign an agreement? Sure, you could put the game on. Yeah, we could put the game on PlayStation, but the terms there was nothing agreed to. They did not take the deal. So if you take a deal, you're not taking access to the game. Like, I hope I honestly, for selfish reasons, I hope they do, get the deal through. And I hope Sony doesn't agree to the deal because that would be self-inflicting, right? That would be self-inflicting. And I think it would be fair. I hate that all these regulators really took PlayStation's argument into consideration. I don't like that all the regulators looked into the whole floor closure strategy, and none of them looked, when they were talking about like floor closure and exclusivity, they did not look at the gaming landscape and see how are games being produced now. How does the exclusivity model work now? Because if they had that information, then they could have dismissed that argument a long time ago because, like, based off the actions of PlayStation. It's this whole deal with Activision and Xbox, it does reveal a lot. Xbox is in this weird place where it's like when they produce content, when they buy publishers or studios, it's like for some reason they have this duty to make sure other platforms get games, but Nintendo and PlayStation don't have that same obligation. Why does Microsoft have that obligation? And they compete with PlayStation and Nintendo and Steam and Nvidia, Epic Games Store. They all competing for the same customer base, but everybody else can eat, everybody else can buy studios, everybody else can sign exclusive partnerships, but only Xbox has to be the one that has to concess. They have to make sure PlayStation eats. They have to make sure Nintendo eats. They have to make sure everybody gets this. But like, if PlayStation could buy Ubisoft or Square Enix right now, and it wouldn't be a question whether a game's exclusive or not, they probably won't be forced to sign any sort of agreement to produce games on Xbox, even though PlayStation have like clear monopolies in certain genres in gaming. There's like, it's an uneven playing field when it comes to the console gaming, and it's completely ignored. So I think I hope, as a fan of Xbox and as a fan of someone who's rooting for the deal to go through, I will hope all regulators, approve with, no concessions, like how Brazil and how Chile did. I hope China approves the same way. I hope, actually I think they're, the reports that China was going to approve it without any sort of concessions. We believe that the EU is going to approve it with the remedies offered to cloud gaming, not for platform, and they're not going to make them divest out. The only odd ones are going to be, you know, the FTC. We don't know what the CMA is going to do. The FTC is in a bad spot. I think Xbox was just close the deal with or without the FTC approval, and let the FTC try to screw them in court. CMA, same thing. They already said they're willing to fight for whatever it is. I think the CMA, it's weird. I've never seen a situation where it feels like they're only in defense of PlayStation. They don't have a care of any platform holder or any gamers or consumers of any other platform in their territory, and they're only about making sure PlayStation is okay, even though they have the market lead over there. It's a weird situation, and it's like they don't have like a legit argument, and it feels like the stuff that they're pushing is useless. There's like, obviously this group of, fans and individuals on Twitter who keep trying to point out to the ZeniMax deal. I look at it this way. I think the Minecraft deal was different. The ZeniMax deal was different. And the Activision Blizzard deal was different. I feel like they all needed to address a concern or a piece that Microsoft or Xbox was lacking. So with Minecraft, even though they have their competitor to games that like Roblox, they have their universal massive hit that can kind of self-sustain itself with Minecraft. With ZeniMax, they really addressed the core gamers with the ZeniMax deal. They addressed their core, like first party content. First party content, I think ZeniMax did, which was appropriate. This deal is about bringing games, exclusive to Xbox and to Xbox, and where Game Pass exists. It made sense that when you think about the games that ZeniMax Bethesda makes, yes, it addresses a need and a concern and content output. Call of Duty, the Activision Blizzard deal, it meets all criteria. It's the production and the content. It's that mobile market. It's cloud market. They are able to address a certain a miss that they have on their end with that deal. So, but the thing is that yes, I can see Xbox buying Minecraft and letting it be everywhere. They've produced 3 Minecraft games since Minecraft. No, 4, because you got to factor in Minecraft, the base game, which is a standalone game that exists. It's self-sustaining, and every platform that releases in the future, there's a port of Minecraft that gets released on it. So that's them keeping the game on all platforms, and then just keeping the brand and the IP alive and existing on platforms. They did Minecraft Story Mode, which is a Telltale game, and it's available. It was once upon a time available everywhere. Now it's only exclusive to Netflix, and it should be available for Xbox and PC, but unless you bought it when it released, you no longer have access to it. You got Minecraft Dungeons and Minecraft Legends. These are both different types of games that share the Minecraft name, and they've all released on PS5, PS4, PC, cloud, whatever. Minecraft Dungeons is in PS Plus this month, like another subscription service. So it's like they got a live example of a huge IP that they've purchased like early on, and the model, we'll keep this because the crowd, even though Legends and Dungeons don't require PlayStation, you don't need a Minecraft game to play those games. You don't need to have access to the base game of Minecraft. These are separate games. Sure, they have a multiplayer aspect to them, but they're separate games. These games could have very well been exclusive, but they're not. Then you get games like the ZeniMax deals where you have your Elder Scrolls, your Starfields, your Redfall to compete with the traditional games that release. Bethesda, most of their studios make traditional games. They're not heavy in a multiplayer. Sure, they're experimenting with a few multiplayer games like Fallout 76 and Elder Scrolls Online, which both still receiving content and enhancement updates for all platforms that the games exist on by Xbox, even though it's under the Xbox umbrella right now. So case by case basis, they fulfilled that with that ZeniMax order. A lot of these dudes saying games were pulled off PlayStation, and they're being disingenuous. You got people like, Nick and Red Dragon. I think I addressed this last episode. We keep saying Starfield was put off PlayStation. They'll try to give you this bullshit clip of Pete Hines talking like, oh, when they said they had no intentions to make it, exclusive or whatever. That exclusivity thing just came when the acquisition name, but the video never confirmed that a PlayStation version exists. There's no evidence of a PlayStation 5 version or a PlayStation 4 version of Starfield, Redfall, Hi-Fi Rush, any of those games ever existing. Matter of fact, there was no evidence that Hi-Fi Rush existed prior to January of this year. Starfield and Elder Scrolls were both revealed in, I think, 2018 as like short video clips in a title screen, essentially, right? They said our next generation game. And at that point, yeah, we don't know what platform was going to come on because there was no Series X and S announcement, and there was no PS5 announcement. Right now, we're still in the last generation. And so what we knew was that those games wouldn't be coming out for Xbox One and PlayStation Series consoles, but they will be clearly coming out for PC. So when they initially revealed Starfield, there was no platform logos. There was no platform logos for those games, right? And then we haven't heard from those games again, right? So now the Activision deal happens, and we get a formal reveal like, okay, now this is real. We have a target date in mind. It's Xbox and PC exclusive. Why? Yeah, of course it's Xbox and PC exclusive. Because at this time, the deal is closed. They're under the bridge. They've been owned by Microsoft for quite a bit, and by the time the game releases, they've been under the stable for a couple years now. So they keep saying this game was pulled. No game was pulled off PlayStation. Of all the studios that Microsoft acquired when they start going on their shopping spree, no game has ever been pulled. So Starfield was never released or advertised or teased for PlayStation. So you can't say it was pulled. Redfall, like I said, we didn't know it exists. And when you consider, and people got to figure this out, PlayStation had to jump, right, on Bethesda, because what games did they take? They took Deathloop and Ghostwire Tokyo, right? Why didn't they take Hi-Fi Rush? They had time. Hi-Fi Rush was in development since 2017, according to the lead developer. They could have took Redfall. Redfall and Ghostwire Tokyo were in development. Not Ghostwire Tokyo. Redfall and Deathloop was in development at the same time. What did PlayStation take? They took Deathloop. That's two Arcane games, two Arcane studios working on two separate games at two separate locations. They took Deathloop. They went to Tango. They took Ghostwire Tokyo. There's rumors of them, trying to money hat Starfield. They weren't ready to commit on that one. I don't think, because you got to think about it. Todd Howard, the Bethesda studio, they don't produce exclusives for PlayStation. They produced exclusive for Xbox. Xbox is typically the lead platform with their game, with the Bethesda game studios. Xbox is typically the lead platform for those games. Let's go back to Oblivion, Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, Skyrim, Fallout 4, Fallout 76. Those were the lead platform has been Xbox. Anytime Todd Howard Studio is coming out with a game, Xbox is generally the lead platform, whether it's an exclusive, a timed exclusive, custom console, or marketing deals. They typically go with Xbox. They've never gone with PlayStation directly for one of their mainline games. So I can believe, yeah, PlayStation might have reached out to them to acquire exclusive rights, and Bethesda probably was like, probably not. You know what I mean? So, but then again, you have games like Stellar Blade, which when it had a different name, Project Eve, was announced for Xbox and PlayStation. It had multiple platforms. It gets a name, guess where? The game is pulled from Xbox, so there's no Xbox version. Final Fantasy game had like a 6 months or a year timed exclusivity deal, and now it's not coming to Xbox at all. That game was pulled from Xbox, right? Xbox bought Outer Worlds prior to Obsidian prior to the Outer Worlds, right? Outer Worlds still released on PlayStation. They did a free next gen update for both platforms. Still, it's not like they cheated and only supported the Xbox version. No, they supported the PlayStation version. Private Division still released their whatever version that just came out for both platforms, not exclusive to Xbox, even though Xbox owns the IP now. Hellblade wasn't put off PlayStation. The only thing I'll say is I don't think Hellblade received a PS5 update. It's only, I think it only received a Series X and S update. However, the game, since being acquired from Microsoft, has been released on the Nintendo Switch, right? Let's see, who else? They purchased In Exile. Wasteland wasn't pulled from PlayStation or any other platform that it's on. When they bought ZeniMax, at the time that's Google Stadia closed down, just give you a heads up, right? Because remember, Google Stadia, they blamed, after Xbox announced its acquisition of ZeniMax, Google started to shut down all its internal studios, and they committed to go like third party, whatever. And at the time that Stadia closed down, Xbox, all ZeniMax titles were playable and available in the service, which is an existing cloud service. They were all there. Every game that was in Game Pass was also in Stadia. They could have pulled, I thought when they bought ZeniMax, they would just pull them. I thought the smart thing to do, pull off them services, put them on all your subscription service. They didn't do that. So there's so many examples of Xbox committing to what they've done. They have, yeah, there's some inconsistencies, but those inconsistencies have been communicated. Their message with Minecraft, all platforms, whatever, it has a big fan base already. Their message with ZeniMax, case by case, but pretty much exclusives, right? Their message with Call of Duty is going to remain on platforms because of the player base. And chances, and because everybody making everything about Call of Duty, sure, they'll probably make the rest of the games exclusive. I don't see why they shouldn't be able to. You're buying something, is yours, right? So, but I think the disingenuous response to like everybody, bugging about like Starfield as if there was some lie told. We never had a PlayStation version. It was never pulled. None of those games were never pulled from PlayStation. And this whole and we have like many examples of other games being supported and continually to be supported across all devices. So this deal really just needs to close and be over it. I've stopped doing like videos on it, but I'll comment on it here and there on Twitter and whatnot, and we'll see what happens. But hopefully, we are good. So I see a few of you guys came in. We got 78 people watching. Hit the like button, hit the share button. Hopefully we get that number to grow before I get out of here. Like I said, the goal is to be out of here by 3 p.m. Honest Critic says the only thing Xbox is lacking is good management. Not only does this deal not help, but it adds more devs to manage. I disagree with that notion. You guys look at 343. You guys look at like you guys look at 343 or you look at like the initiative and he's like Xbox has bad management. That doesn't mean Xbox has bad management. All studios are self-managed. Sure, they have an overseer, but it's not for them to manage. You know what I mean? It's like, do you think like when you franchise a Burger King or Wendy's, is it up for the overarching Burger King headquarters to manage, or is it for you to freaking manage? Like, that's stupid. Like, one Burger King runs like shit in this town, this one doesn't run like shit in that town, but is overall Burger King has bad management because the Burger King in your town sucks? No, that's not how it works. It's not how it works. Does ZeniMax have bad management? They're owned by Xbox. They got a bunch of studios. They all have different release cadences. What contributes to bad management? Game delays? If delaying a game is bad management, what constitute what contributes to bad management? What does bad management means? Is Playground run badly? Is Turn 10 run badly? Is Rare run badly? How do we determine that Xbox has bad management? They own a bunch of studios, right? So are they all run poorly? Or is it because Halo had its issues and, you know, there was growing pains with the initiative? That means Xbox had bad management. I think that's horrible perception. And adding Activision to the fold doesn't mean that Xbox has to manage more. Activision is going to manage Activision. Blizzard's going to manage Blizzard as they do. It's just so they're doing it under the umbrella of Xbox. Sure, there's going to be a few people that they switch out at the top, but they're all their own businesses. Microsoft is just the parent company. Like, I don't understand that concept. Microsoft is the parent company and they have a bunch of businesses. You know what I mean? So in that case, you said management on Xbox. Does Windows have bad management? Does Azure have bad management? They're all owned by Microsoft. I totally disagree with that notion. I think Fable did not have issues. You guys haven't seen an ounce of issues. You get these little reports, right? And even if it did have issues, did it have management issues or did it have tech issues? How many games do you guys develop? How many issues will arrive? Oh, we found a bug. Is that a management issue? We need time to get this out. Oh, we can't figure out this thing to work. Yeah, it's a struggle to get this thing to work. Oh, that's a management issue, or is it a tech issue? Is it development struggles? Development struggles doesn't mean bad management. Like, yes, continue to go on so I can destroy those points. You're coming up with the stupidest things. But they had a third-party exclusive drop last year. That's not a management issue. Think about what you said. A third party. So that means another company that has nothing to do with you. A third party. Actually, they did not have a third party exclusive drought last year. They had third party games. They had a first party output, their first party output, which is that, yeah, that's on them. But third party, they're global publishing, which is owned by Microsoft. Yes, they did their job. They delivered As Dust Falls. They delivered Scorn. They've delivered on what's the other games that they came out with? They came out with a bunch of other games, but they weren't heavy hitters, but they were those were the third party deals that they made. So they did have third party exclusives. So what is a drought? Was there zero? What's the drought? How is that bad management? The supervision of games releases is an important factor to ensure a quality product. They're clearly too hands off. But how can you verify that? How are they too hands off? How are they hands off? What are we basing this off? What are we basing this off? Yeah. I think I missed the super chat. Let me get back to it. Stage. Did you change your name? Stage Block. Says Xbox guys established IP while Sony and Nintendo Xbox buys established IP while Sony and Nintendo make new IP. What's the new Nintendo IP? I don't know of any new Nintendo IP. Yeah, PlayStation makes new IPs. I don't care how you get IP. You buy them, you make them, whatever. That it doesn't matter. There's no right or wrong way of doing things. There's no right or wrong way of getting product out. Sure, you want to give PlayStation credit for being in the game for 50 years and being able to establish games. Same with Nintendo being in the game for 100 years and they being able to re-release their IPs every decade, right? So like Xbox sees something that's hot, they buy it, make it their own. It is what it is. We all do that in different ways of life. I don't see anything right or wrong about it. Xbox typically goes with people who have a closer relationship with. Here, sure, there's a few newbies in the game, but they've always had an established relationship with NXL, Obsidian, Bethesda, even Activision. Well, before PlayStation had deep roots with Activision. So Smooth would never say Phil is a problem, not even having a year without no first games. There were games. Like, you guys in your no games comment is really stupid. I'm not in the business of like, I'm going to spend my time talking shit about one man. Now, my thing is, am I playing the product? Yes, I play the Xbox a lot. I enjoy Game Pass. Game Pass is awesome. There's a bunch of games coming to the service. 2023 has been epic. I played a lot of games, a lot of quality games. Didn't have to buy a lot of them either. So, no, I'm not going to be. If you want to go listen to somebody talk shit about Phil Spencer every fucking week, go tune into Jez. Go tune into Saltiest Gamer. Go tune into Wooly or some shit like that. Or follow Red Dragon. Like, if you want to hear, if you get your source of entertainment for someone just wanting to hear criticisms of Phil Spencer, that's who you follow. I don't care. You know what I mean? I like to talk about games. I like to talk about consoles. I like to talk about platforms. I like to talk about, things. Sometimes individuals will come into play, but I don't care. Phil Spencer could leave Microsoft today. Somebody new could come in tomorrow. You know what I mean? Life goes on. Like you guys, I don't know what it is, what your obsession is with people criticizing Xbox or criticizing Phil Spencer. What do you get? I don't know if you just get it feels good. It makes your I don't know if you get turned on by it, but it does something to you. I don't know, some chemical imbalance. I don't know what it is, but I'm not here to satisfy that. That doesn't interest me. That does not interest me. That shit is boring. Like, to keep like talking like, oh, Phil Spencer. Let me put Phil Spencer in the thumbnail, give him a big ass nose or something like that. Phil Spencer lied. Like, no, come on. Yeah, great. People just want to hear you be honest. I'm one of the honest people on YouTube. Me being honest, no, people don't want to hear me be honest. People want to hear me be critical and they want me to satisfy their opinion. That's not being honest. That's me trying to massage your opinion. You can't accept my honesty. You can't accept my opinion. You can't accept how I feel if it doesn't align with yours. But if I start to pivot and adjust my opinion, my thoughts with yours, then I'm being honest. But when I'm being brutally honest, nobody thinks I'm being honest. You're gonna be honest, be real. But when I start, I'm only being honest when I'm talking shit about Xbox or when I'm being highly critical, when I'm mad. Like, if you don't believe I'm honest, look at my Twitter. Look at my Twitter. When I see something I don't like, I tweet it, I post it, boom. That's honesty. When I was streaming Wolong and my controller was doing all this crazy shit and I'm talking hella shit about this controller, that's me being honest. Me not having the same opinion on you about Xbox game output or what's good for Xbox and what's not good for Xbox are different. I don't care. Like, we play different games. My taste in games, if you can see, every year we post our games beat list where we see screenshots of games we're playing. You look at the games that I played and beat, clearly my taste in games are different than yours. So why would we share the same opinion? Why would what's good to you mean is good to me? Why what's bad to me be what's bad for you? Because I'm a human being and different, our opinions will never align, and they never should. It never should. This is the reason why multiple types of genres of games exist. This is the reason why different games, different movies, different everything exists. Choice, because somebody might like this, somebody might like that. It's the reason why there's a PlayStation, there's an Xbox, and there's a Switch. Maybe somebody just might like PlayStation. I might just like Xbox. They do the same thing. They just do some of them differently, and some of them have unique games. It's a concept you guys never really grasp. Shout out to Quincy that he says Microsoft started from nothing in the game industry. Let's not forget they have done very well for themselves. They found different ways to be successful. Everybody, I guess everybody wants Xbox to be successful in the ways PlayStation was successful. Everybody wants to see Xbox, sell, 100 million, consoles. They want them to, have all, the exclusive. They want them to compete that way. Clearly, Xbox recognized they can't compete that way, because even when they attempted, they got backlash. They tried things that would change the industry, got backlash. They tried to get exclusives the way PlayStation got exclusives. That was backlash. Now they're finding other ways to compete, and they're competing on the back end, whether it's services that power games, whether it's game subscriptions, whether it's cloud, whether it's owning a bunch of IPs and being able to publish to other platforms. They're finding ways to compete in the gaming industry and to generate revenue, and people don't like it. You know what I mean? Because it's not the PlayStation way. Shout out to Quincy that for becoming a member. You became a member. You didn't have to. I think you super chatted and became a member. You don't have to do that. I appreciate that. My memberships is lacking, though. I will say that as far as what I've been able to do. I'm trying to get back on my grind with content. Fill more pockets. He says High on Life, Grounded, Pentiment, all high rated games from 2022. 2 of which were released under Xbox management. That's actually true. So like the Xbox has had, believe it or not, when Xbox releases a lot of, whether it be third party, second party, first party, they release highly rated games, but a lot of these games aren't, God of War or Zelda, where they're like these AAA mass budgeted titles. Some of these are just like good ass mid games that are better than the average. You know what I mean? Now this year we should be getting those blockbusters, and I don't care what nobody say. Game Pass this year, like, I don't care what game drops out of Game Pass this year. The games that are coming in is just ridiculous, bro. Just ridiculous. Gaming Forte with the $4.99 super chat. He says, I would like to know what interests you. I think you're honest about your opinion, but you take most of the heat because you're the face of the term Xbox. Oh, I gotta spit. Hold on. Turn off the light. Okay. All right. Gaming 14 says, I would like to know what interests you. I think you're honest about your opinion, but you take most of the heat because you're the face of the term Xbox. Yeah. What interests me in games? Bro, I like basic games. I'll say this, right? I like graphics, right? I like fun gameplay. I like intriguing stories. I don't like to play one game too long. You know what I mean? If a game is too long, it's because of, like, if I'm going to spend a lot of time on a single game, it better be because it's difficult or hard, or I'm struggling, or it just, but like, I only have a tolerance for like a couple games that are going to be, you know, hundreds of hours and stuff like that. When Assassin's Creed and stuff, they were doing those. It's like, okay, I could do Assassin's Creed for year. That'll be the game for the year. But like, I like games that I can chill and play in a weekend. I apologize for the background, but I like games I can chill and play through in a weekend. Like, for example, last month, Shadow Warrior 3, the definitive edition, came to Xbox Game Pass. That's a Game Pass. Game Pass. And the game, I literally played through it in about a day and a half, and I enjoyed the ride. It was like, I get off my gaming, I get off to those experiences as far as gaming wise. And I know, pause the way it sounds, but those experiences sort of satisfy me. Like I could play a game like Bright Memory Infinite. You know what I mean? It's not going to take me, 30 days to play. It's going to take me, a quick run. Like, I mean, there's every once in a while I could play a game that I'll dump time into. So like, for example, Starfield. I don't even know if I'm going to like the game. You know what I mean? But it sounds longer than it needs to be, but that's why maybe I will get more enjoyment in a game like Redfall. I'll get enjoyment in a game like Hellblade 2. I don't foresee a game like that being super long. And then I like playing like casual shit. Like when Forza comes out, I do a couple races here and there. When Madden comes out, I play a couple games online. You know what I mean? When I don't want to fully engage. As far as like platforms and PlayStation, like I keep a PlayStation around because yes, they're going to come out with a game that I think is great, and because the way PlayStation does business, I got to play it on PlayStation unless they put it on PC. I'm not interested in shit like VR. I had it. I got it for Christmas a couple years ago. Didn't really care for it. Didn't use it that much. I see PSVR 2. I have absolutely no interest in it. Right. But the crazy thing is I have no interest in it, but I'm not talking shit about it. Like you won't hear me talk shit about PSVR or PSVR 2. Have it. If you can check my Twitter now. A lot of people. Yeah, I'm the face of the Xbot. But I don't talk shit about PlayStation to the degree that people think I do. Like I have disagreements for like obviously this whole ABK deal because I think there's a lot of hypocrisy going on there. So yeah, I'm going to share my opinions on that. But I don't sit there and pick apart PlayStation games to that. You know what I mean? Unless I'm playing them. You know what I mean? I said something what I said about like Ghost of Tsushima because I played it. I said what I said about Returnal because I didn't like it and I played it. You know what I mean? Like I'll give PlayStation games its props when I play it. The Last of Us 1 and 2, Bloodborne, and Uncharted, which is my favorite genre of games. But Ratchet and Clank, I didn't think this was a strong Ratchet and Clank game. I didn't think what's the recent one? Like God of War Ragnarok. I cannot drive myself to play because I feel like I just played it. It feels just like God of War 2018. It's like Horizon Forbidden West. I loved Horizon Zero Dawn. I'm not that interested in Horizon Forbidden West. I think it's the most boringest games ever released out of PlayStation. Yeah, I can say that not because I hate PlayStation, because I didn't care for those games when I played it, and I got bored of them. But the thing is, I don't talk about PlayStation in a way PlayStation fans talk about Xbox. I talk about Xbox. I argue with PlayStation fans about Xbox, not about PlayStation. It's like there's a difference between the typical PlayStation fan and the typical Xbox fan. PlayStation fans would just argue with you whether you like PlayStation or whether you like Xbox. The Xbox fans will argue with you not because you like PlayStation, it's because either you're clowning them about Xbox or you're clowning about Xbox or you're spreading misinformation about Xbox. It's always about Xbox. If you think about it, it's like, bro, for a platform that most people aren't interested in, like when I have a platform I'm not interested in, like for the Nintendo Switch, right? Treat it like the VR. I have no interest in it. I don't even think there's a game that I can see myself playing on. I have it because my kids like it. They play something on it, right? Every time I'll try to play something on there, and my game time is just, I think the most I played on the Switch is when it came out, when Breath of the Wild came out. Super Mario Odyssey. Tried to play those. I was like, whatever. But I didn't care to see those through, right? So I don't like the Switch like that. I think it's a cool platform, but I personally don't like it. But the thing is, I don't talk shit about it. I don't, if I don't like, I have no reason to talk about it. I don't play it. PlayStation. I don't really talk about PlayStation. I talk about the games I played on it. I'll talk politics and stuff about it. You know what I mean? I talk about I talk about PlayStation as it relates to Xbox, and then usually that's when I'm arguing with PlayStation fanboys. That's different, and that's what nobody can say. You can pick out several PlayStation fanboys on Twitter, on YouTube, and their content is almost exclusively about Xbox. You pick out Xbox fanboys and their content is almost exclusively about Xbox. There's a difference. Appreciate Quincy that he said, I know I just subscribed and did that because I've been watching you for a while and you deserve it. Appreciate it, bro. Yeah, he's a smooth. They definitely interest in Xbox. They more about Xbox than the platform they claim they love. So shout out to the Big Kahuna. He used to be a content creator on YouTube back in the day when we were all coming up, 2014, 2015 area. His saying was, fanboys don't hate. He said, fanboys don't like their favorite console. They just hate yours. And it's never been there's never been a statement truer, because it's true. I don't believe PlayStation fanboys love their console. I think they just hate Xbox. And so you get this situation, like, for example, a couple weeks ago, Dark Doc was ranting, shout out to Doc Dark 1985. There's level to this. All right, that's the only way I can say, because I always say Doc Dark or Dark Doc, but I think it's Dark Doc 1985. I think he was ranting when he was sharing his grievance about the Series S and the performance discrepancies between Xbox and PlayStation. He was going on about it. And you know what happened when he started to speak? You know what happened when he started to be quote unquote honest? Now, to give you a heads up, I watch Doc Dart a lot. He's always honest. He's always been honest. It's nothing new. But he only got credit for being honest when he criticized the Xbox, even though he's always brutally honest. It didn't become, oh, I respect Doc because of this, only until he started, because he had to rant on Xbox. I rant on Xbox every now and then. And that's when that's the only time I get support from PlayStation fans on Twitter. It's when I decide, I'm mad at Xbox for a reason. I'm gonna tweet about it, or I'll do a video about it. I'll get support. Then when I'm back on my normal shit, my honest shit, my real honest self, it's I'm fanboying, right? I don't. Those are the only ways I get the support from PlayStation, is when I'm criticizing Xbox or when I'm praising PlayStation for something, right? I have to praise PlayStation for something. You'll always hear me give credit to The Last of Us, the show, the game, and you'll always hear me give credit to Bloodborne. And you'll always hear me give credit to games like Knack and shit like that, because I truly was a fan of Knack, believe it or not. And I'll get the, oh, you're my favorite bot because you're honest and all that stuff. You're a real one. Why? Because I praise PlayStation or I criticize Xbox. I'm never honest when I'm just normally playing Xbox, or just normally talking about games that are coming out, or when I'm talking about something I'm truly interested in and I'm sharing information, or I'm dropping gems on something. If it's positive about Xbox, I'm just being a fanboy, right? But it's not real. It's not honest unless I say, Xbox marketing sucks, which I say maybe every 13 days. I criticize the Xbox marketing efforts. I think it's trash. It's my honest opinion. I think their marketing sucks. I think when Activision deal closes, I think Activision should take on more Xbox marketing efforts, or ZeniMax, one of them got to take on Xbox marketing efforts. That will always be my opinion until they get better at advertising their gaming products, right? That's my opinion on Xbox. I criticize Xbox for their shitty ass Xbox share feature, and the fact that they didn't take a chance on their dashboard to make it like next gen. I criticize that. I've criticized Xbox for plenty of things, but the thing is that I don't criticize Xbox every day, bro. If I had to criticize Xbox every day that much, think about it, at the rate that PlayStation fans want me to criticize Xbox, and for me to be brutally honest, if I was brutally honest and criticizing Xbox at the rate of a Salty or at the rate of a Jez, I would literally get rid of my Xbox and play PlayStation. If I was that mad to criticize it if I'm going to criticize it every day, at that point, I'm wasting too much energy. I can't be that mad and still play. There's no way. I would just get rid of my Xbox if it's that mad. So clearly, I'm sorry, I can't fake it. I'll get mad at something. I'll criticize something. I'll talk about it, and that's it. But at the rate that everybody wants me to criticize Xbox, which is every day, every tweet, every video, every podcast, I would no longer play Xbox. Because like I said, if I saw myself get to the point where I spend more time talking badly about Xbox and their management than I'm playing the Xbox content, I wouldn't play on the platform anymore. I would just stop. I would just, you know what I mean? It would no longer interest me. But the thing is, with you guys, this is what's going on, guys. I don't produce YouTube content at the rate that I used to, but I play more games more than I used to, right? So guess what? What's happening? I don't produce YouTube content at the rate that I used to, right? I don't talk about Xbox more than I play it. I play Xbox more than I talk about it. You know what I mean? And if you look at my videos and when the videos I do come out, check what they are. They're game reviews, they're game impressions, they're quick overviews or something. There's just something to get my thoughts out. That's what's there. King Thrash, what's up? What's up? He says, are you going to play Mighty Doom on Tuesday? Is that the Doom mobile game? Probably not. Probably if it doesn't have Xbox achievements, I'm not touching it. So I don't play games on mobile. The only games I'm willing to play on mobile are Connect 4 and possibly Uno. Connect 4, yo, if anybody please, like, I think you got to connect through Facebook, but I will not lose in Connect 4. So I got like 3 different Connect 4s installed on my phone. I will play that on mobile. I will play Connect 4 on mobile. Are you checking out Exo Primal? I'll definitely check it out. It's on Game Pass. I'll check it out. I know people say it looks corny and whatnot. We'll see. But I like that option. You know, a game comes out to Game Pass. It's either it has we download it, we take a chance on it. If it's trash, it's trash. No harm, no foul. Uninstall. I've had game, like, you know what I mean. I've had situations where that occurred. But see something on Game Pass, install it, played it, didn't like it, uninstall. No harm, no foul. And some of them, if I'm even, there's some games on Game Pass where I say no, I'm not even going to install it. I'm gonna cloud it. I'll stream it right quick, and if it's remotely interesting, if I find interest from that point, I then install it, and then I'll continue my playthrough. But there's games that are different genres, different things that I'm not too sure about. I won't even waste the bandwidth to install the game. I'll give it a try. If from there, I'll install it. Like I think I did that with Guilty Gear. I played it like I booted it up on like the cloud just to see. I was like, is this even worth installing and whatnot? Usually if it's a genre that I'm familiar with or a series I'm familiar with, I'll go ahead and install it. Like for example, I just pre-installed Ghostwire Tokyo, comes out April 12th on Xbox. Beat it on PC. It took me a while to beat it on PC too. I'm not gonna lie. Not because the game was long, it's because it didn't interest me for a while. You know what I mean? I feel like it was like a job. I know it's on like PlayStation Plus. I might install it there, but I think the second half of the game, I started to enjoy a little bit more, and then I played through the game, finished the game on a weekend, and like I'm willing to play it on, definitely willing to play it on Xbox. So I'm gonna get my Xbox achievements, but for sure. Um, So is it possible to critique Xbox as a representative of Microsoft? The plastic piece of equipment is limited to what it is intended to accomplish. The same holds true for every console produced. Hey, I mean, but is it as a representative of Microsoft? I'm pretty sure. I've heard like different execs criticize, like not execs, but like members of Microsoft criticize Xbox for different things. But like they've done it internally. Um, the what's up? All right, so I titled this name Bethesda's carrying Xbox, the Xbox load. It is becoming more apparent that how big the ZeniMax purchase was, because you take away ZeniMax from Xbox, you know, 2023 is actually really, really grim. But you know what I mean? I don't like to play, sometimes I like to play hypotheticals because no, I play hypotheticals a lot, but in reality, turns out to be an awesome acquisition, because they've been able to deliver consistently. Sure, we had to sit through the timed exclusives of Deathloop and Ghostwire Tokyo. What they dropped Deathloop on Xbox last September. Managed to release Hi-Fi Rush. Tango did that in January. Great game. Now Tango's about to release the Xbox version of Ghostwire Tokyo in a few weeks. You got Redfall essentially a month after that, which we're about to get like a big blowout of information of Redfall coming Monday. I think it's going to be we're going to get a lot of positive reactions to that game. After Redfall, heck, in June, and I'm pretty sure they got to announce it soon, but there's a next generation re-release of Fallout 4 for the PS5 and the Series X and S. And we know obviously Xbox got the the FPS boost update, but they're doing like a native next gen version, like how they did with like Skyrim. Fallout 4 is getting that update, and I think that's taking place in June. So they consistently doing that, and then after that, they got Starfield in September. And that's not even considering our favorite studios. My favorite studios from Bethesda would be like Machine Games. Always interested to see what it is going to do. I want to know what their next game is. I'm hoping to see Quake, another Wolfenstein, whatever. Who knows? But they got a lot, and I think it was an awesome purchase. But this year is literally carried by ZeniMax. They've just been holding it down. We still got to do Minecraft, Forza. Yeah, if you take away ZeniMax, there's only Minecraft and Forza and potentially Hellblade, which, like I said, that wouldn't have been bad, but it wouldn't be as impactful. I feel like this year is impactful because there's just so much, and I do want to say, because with these delays, right? They're hitting us at the top of the year with. All right, so just looking at it from a perspective of Xbox, right? Just Xbox, right? I'm not looking at it from a perspective of what was delayed or what was ported, whatever. But you had the start of the year, you have Age of Empires Definitive Edition, Hi-Fi Rush, and so that's January, February. Hi-Fi Rush. You have Minecraft, is it Dungeons or Legends? Minecraft Legends, Ghostwire, Tokyo, Redfall, right? All for like to sort of close out the first half of the year. And then they could potentially get the second half of the year with Starfield, Forza, Hellblade, and then their big third-party exclusive, Stalker 2. That's a really good year, especially if Hellblade is able to come through. I think that's a really, really good lineup. So I can afford to miss out on first-party releases in the month of June, July, and August with a front-loaded first half and a backloaded second half, because the Game Pass drops in between. You got Lies of P, you got Exo Primo, you got the case of Benedict Fox, which is, I think that's in April. Replaced, MLB The Show. Like, you got all these quality, and there's obviously more to announce, but you got all these quality releases coming out throughout the year. You know, I don't think the Starfield delay actually hurts that bad. Actually, I don't even think it's that big of a deal in the grand scheme of things, in the grand scheme of content releasing on Xbox and releasing on Xbox Game Pass. That's fine. That's fine, especially if those games hit the way they do. Personally, I think a game like Redfall might achieve. I think a game like Hellblade 2, if it releases this year, could steal the show as one of the best games released. And if Starfield just do what we all expected to do what it's supposed to do, yeah, I think Xbox should walk away with some game awards. I think Xbox should have a couple Gotti nominees this year. So like, that's the best case scenario for Xbox this year. For sure. King Thrash says, do you think Bethesda is making more money now with Xbox and Game Pass? Will Microsoft stop day and date games for Game Pass one day? I think Bethesda, I'm gonna tell you this. Bethesda made the most money when they cashed that $7 billion check to get acquired from Xbox. I don't think they've made $7 billion in a year before. So that I don't think they made $7 billion in a year before. Now, I'm sure you got to think about games like Skyrim are big. They sell a lot. You know what I mean? But those games release once a decade or something. Like, they almost really either release, I think their average releases is like once every 7 years or something like that. But they don't release a lot. And you got to consider this. Arcane has their games are good. They're critically acclaimed, but they don't sell a lot. Arcane games. Like, you got to think about it. Like, if Bethesda was still operating on its own, they might have shut a studio like Arcane down, even though they're extremely talented. Doom, popular, it's great, but it's not like a 20 million seller. So I don't know how much more, money they would be if they're making less, more or less, because I don't know how first party studios make money. I don't know. They just get paid. I guess what they do is pretty much under like Microsoft. So I guess it doesn't really like matter. You know what I mean? So their measure of success is different. If you're not on PlayStation, obviously you're not going to sell as many units. If you're on a game subscription service, you're not going to sell as many units. I don't know how they're paid internally. So it's just a hard question. It's a hard question to answer. I don't know. I know they monetize their games different ways. I don't think Xbox is going to stop games from releasing day and date. I think Game Pass is that they have to pull people in the Game Pass. They're not guaranteed to get big third party games in there. The ones they can control is first party games. So I don't think that'll stop. And the whole purpose of Game Pass, for it to work and for it to be beneficial to them, majority of the games in Game Pass has to be stuff they own, like Netflix. Majority of the stuff in Netflix is getting to the point now that majority of the stuff in Netflix are Netflix originals. You know what I mean? You're not paying a licensing fee to have a movie from Paramount, you know, on your service. You know, you're not paying like a fee to Disney to get one of their movies on your service, because Netflix got big enough to be able to produce their own content and start having their big content be essentially first party stuff. Xbox, same thing. I was like, yeah, I think eventually the third party stuff will calm down a bit. We'll get like a, the more stuff Xbox owns, we'll have obviously all the Xbox original stuff. You'll have independent stuff, like second party stuff. I think the third party stuff will be less and less. I think that's what happens. Or, you know, they'll be via tiered. I think other tiers of Game Pass is going to come into play that include like a Ubisoft, just like how EA is included in Game Pass Ultimate. I feel like there's going to be other tiers that include other publishers. But I don't think they'll remove the their exclusive from Game Pass, or I don't think they'll make a timed exclusive, because at the end of the day, Xbox still sells games. And unless they have 100% conversion rate, which they don't have a 100% conversion rate. Everybody who has an Xbox doesn't have an Xbox Game Pass account. Matter of fact, I could be wrong on that. Because when you consider the amount of people that are subscribed to Game Pass, and then the amount of consoles that are sold for next year, I'm not counting Xbox One, there's a possibility that they could be, but I doubt it. Games still sell on Xbox. People still buy games on Xbox, just not at the clip that they buy them on other platforms where they don't exist on another service. So, I don't see them changing that. I think, the only way for that to occur is like they would have to hit like some sort of climax with subscribers and have enough quality content in there that they can prioritize like a release like Starfield or the next Gears of War to be like, okay, this is going to be like on a 90-day, you know, release. I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening. Nah, I don't see it happening. I think PlayStation could do that. I think PlayStation, once they start taking their subscription service seriously, if they take it seriously, I think PlayStation will minimize the amount of time they wait before their games go into PS Plus. I think what they'll do is they'll do like what HBO does when there's this big movie that can easily launch into their service, but they want to take advantage of that the theater release of the box office amount. I think that first 90 days is important. The first 90 days, I think the first 90 days of any video game, that's when you're going to sell the most, and everything else is just kind of over time. But the most games are going to sell their most within the first 90 days, and they sell their absolute apex within their first week, first month of release. I think PlayStation will do it that way because PlayStation sort of follows the Hollywood entertainment model with a lot of their things. I think their games will, instead of waiting a whole year before they go into a subscription service, I think they wait 90 days. And the minute those games dip off in sales, boom, put them in PS Plus. I think that should be Xbox's approach to third-party games, big third-party games that miss that day and date. I think they should have like, all right, we'll do 90 days and we'll put it on Game Pass so that when their sales start to dip off, boom, go into Game Pass. And we've seen examples of that with games like Scarlet Nexus. We saw it with games like Guardians of the Galaxy, like where they had like a quick turnaround. I think Avengers also, yeah, they like had this quick turnaround. They released and then like within a short window, 3 to 6 months, boom, it was in Game Pass. But yeah, hope I answered the question. I got 10 minutes before I have to like get into work mode. But I love these solo podcasts. It's Playing Xbox episode 138. Hit the like button. Keep the questions coming. I got about 10 minutes before I get out of here. This 90 minutes went by fairly quick. Jacob Novik says Phil already stated that ABK they're still not done purchasing companies. If I'm Xbox, yeah, you're not done, but I wouldn't buy a publisher right away. What I would do is I would go in and take care of certain Affinity, Asobo, few of the like studios that you've been working closely with. You just get them all in house, and then the following year, because you can do a lot of that stuff under the radar. Literally, you can do a lot of that stuff under the radar, bring them into the fold. Like literally, the day the Activision deal closes, they could close off a couple other deals that they had in the works. There's a lot of publish out there. I know we all wanted them to see, like, I have a special place for Ubisoft. I know people want to see Sega. There's Capcom, there's Square. I don't think Square is worth what they once was. I would have been interested in Square had they kept, the Tomb Raider, the Crystal Dynamics, and the what's the other studio they got? Crystal Dynamics and I forget, but damn, bro. I think Square Enix, like I said, they were more valuable then, but they make stupid decisions. They're run by idiots, and that's an actual true example of bad management. Square Enix. But I think Xbox, they shouldn't buy a publisher next. I think they should go after Certain Affinity, Asobo, IO Interactive, and there's somebody else that's out there that I think they will do well with. Poppy Dangerfield says for $2, he says, "What's up, bro? When is the next rap song?" Oh man, it depends. I don't know, man. I haven't been. Game Pass is still going strong. I don't know what angle. I look for trends, right? I look for a trend. You know what I mean? You gotta think about when I did certain songs. When I did Halo, Gears of Forza, it was at a time that everybody kept saying Xbox only has Halo, Gears of Forza, Halo, Gears of Forza. It was a joke, turned it into a song. Freaking, and then Game Pass was like, I did Game Pass because I thought this ABK deal would go in a lot quicker. So like a lot of stuff that I'm saying in the Game Pass song is heavily relied upon this Call of Duty thing, because that game could age like spoiled milk if this deal fails. But I thought it was a good time because I think I did Game Pass at the time where Xbox was getting a lot of these Game Pass updates, these Game Pass news, these games going day in Game Pass. I was like, all right, this is good, and it can potentially go viral, and then it'll have another chance to go viral with something else, but so it depends. I don't know what the next song's gonna be, or when I'll do it. And you guys got to consider, I don't listen to rap today. I don't listen to today's rap. I think all the music sucks. So I don't know how I would like really, I would really like sound, but that's that. I don't know. I'll definitely what I'll do is when I do it, I'll put it on the channel for memberships first. I think I did that with the song I Blocked You. It was like a members exclusive. Shout out to Biggity 08. Welcome to the best spot. Basic, appreciate it. G Linzer, $2, says Resident Evil 2 wasn't your vibe, but will you be on Resident Evil 4? That's a good question. Resident Evil 2, like I said, as much as I like how the game looks and plays, I like looking at the game, right? But for some reason, I struggled with Resident Evil games even as a kid. I just could never get through or properly play a Resident Evil game. I think I've successfully played through maybe 2 Resident Evil games, and they were all fairly recent. Resident Evil 5, which I hope they remake, because I'll have more hype for that because I pretty much know how to get through that game. And Resident Evil 7. I don't even think I played Resident Evil 6 though. Resident Evil 4, I think I'm going to buy Resident Evil 4. I played Resident Evil 4. I bought it day one on the GameCube in 2005. I think I beat that game though. That's the thing. I think I beat Resident Evil 4. I think I'll get through that game. I think I'll be more interested in playing it because they've added some elements. The parry seems cheesy. It's something I can take advantage of. Like the way the game looks. And got to play the demo a little bit, but I will more than likely probably I think I'll get through that game before I finish RE2 or RE3. Like, I don't know why, for some reason I couldn't get through those games. So hello from Whaley's. Is it Wales or Wales? I'm a PlayStation fan, but bought the Xbox Series X 8 months ago. And to be honest, I love the Xbox Unlimited Plus, the points you earn, which for me is a plus. I just read a report from Wellies that there's rats over there the size of cats. Is that true? I just saw that right before I went live on Twitter. I saw like something on just in. I forgot who posted it. Are there any RE games on Game Pass? Actually, that's a good question. Are there any RE games on Game Pass? Matter of fact, let's find out. We can find this out right now. I believe there is. I actually believe there is. Find out right now. Are there any RE games on Game Pass? Let me switch. Let me see something right quick. Are there any RE games on Game Pass? Resident Evil. But I think this is just search. I don't think these are on Game Pass. Shit. Does it tell me? Can I? Yeah, no. If I hit search, Resident Evil. All right. I don't think any of these are on Game Pass, but I know. Let's see. I think I own this. Nope, that's not on Game Pass. I don't own Village? Okay. I think I own this as well. I don't think this is a Game Pass game. Yeah, it would say Game Pass in the corner if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, none of these are in Game Pass. Yeah, none of these are in Game Pass. Like, yeah, nah. Yeah, none of these are in Game Pass. Yeah, I don't think a single Resident Evil was in Game Pass. Yeah, Village, I think, had marketing rights with PlayStation, so that was not coming to Game Pass. I remember it was a rumor that it would go to Game Pass, but that never happened. It is 3:00, so I'm a log out of here, guys. I appreciate you guys, dude, for liking it, sharing, hitting the share button, hitting the like button, coming through. I think we peaked at like 80 plus for not bad for a solo show with no advertisement. So shout out to the newest members for the day. Quincy that. Shout out to Poppy Dangerfield and Blunzer, Biggity 08. I King Thrash. I think I saw Grind My Gears came through. Hustle Motivated opened the show. Appreciate you guys. It's been a good day. I will see you guys next week. Might drop some content tonight or tomorrow, depending on what we're doing. And then I should have a video. I'm gonna try to react to some of the stuff because we're supposed to be getting like a big blowout of Redfall like Monday. So I'm gonna be checking some stuff out there, reading about it. Hopefully it's a good vibe. So thank you guys for watching, man. It's been great. Xbox is the best box. I am the best spot. Good night or good morning if you're on the other side of the globe. About to go outside, get some sun. We out of here. Peace. Peace. Where's my intro? Cue it.